But I'm interested to hear how you're using webinars.
So this is not the success. So when I first started, I think the first year, we're 2.5 years into this, but that first half year I did four, I think 4 or 5. Last year we did 9. This year we've
Great.
only done 2. And so
Okay.
I'll kind of explain. So one of my friends, Mike, who he only does like coatings. He works with coating companies that put coatings on different types of products. So he started doing interviews with subject matter experts in different areas that could share information that solve a problem or relevant to the industry. And then he would have it dictated and create a white paper from it. And he would use that white paper then in his marketing to different companies to increase his authority in the marketplace and gain opportunities from that, which I thought was super smart. And then
Great
looking
idea.
at it, I was like,
Recycling.
okay, I need to do that. But then, you know, uh, I was like, well, maybe we could make that better with video, right? So I took that idea and then evolved it to the webinar. And look, let's have somebody on talk about something that matters to our following and the professionals that are in our world that might help them from a career standpoint. And then there's those nuggets, right, on leadership and emotional intelligence and overcoming obstacles. And, those are some of the coolest things I think that come through the conversations of the people that we want to hear about, learn about. So, I was, terrified. The first one we did it, invested in some of the equipment, those kind of things. And I think we had like 23 people that showed up. And I was like, okay,
Awesome.
that's kind of cool. We've had some where we only had capacity for 100, but we've had, a couple different ones where 100 people register, and then we get 80 people show up, depending on the
That's
topic.
good.
So my goal was to bring value to others in terms of their career growth, but then because of the information and how we're putting it out there in the marketplace and bringing value freely, we'd start to get some leaders to go, that person keeps sending me stuff on this, on that. They kind of know who you are, even though they don't know you. And then they'd say,
Yes.
wait a minute, we should get on that webinar because we have that problem right now. Maybe we can learn something, right? And it would hopefully bring business down the road in the same way that the person that you talked about that obviously knows what they're doing really well and is getting a lot of business from it. But the challenge this year, and why did we go from 9 to 2, is because as we've grown and scaled and my responsibilities, I've been the person that's done the attracting to try to get people on. And,
Right.
you only have so much time. So I haven't figured out how the best way to do that. So what we're in the process of executing this right now, was as I looked at that and like, okay, we've gotten great feedback. The white papers on it get great feedback. Angela does a great job with that on my team. So now we're moving to those executive conversations, industry insights, executive conversations, because I think when you look at how busy you are and the people that we want to interact with and share their positive experiences and insights in what's going on, getting on a webinar for 45 minutes to an hour and talking about a topic versus, hey, yeah, let's get on and have a conversation for 15 minutes. It doesn't need to be live. And then turn that into sort of the podcast. And we can also use those video clips in the same way we were using them from the webinar. Then we can be more targeted and proactively say, okay, we have, and then also we can, we're starting with me, but Chrissy on my team, Brian, Milo, Josh can piggyback off the same process to help enhance their identity and authority in the marketplace relevant to social media. Then we can proactively say, okay, hey, in the third quarter, we want to do a webinar with 3 subject matter experts on to talk about challenges relevant to supply chain or supplier quality, or dealing with the FDA in a particular area, or work from home, or whatever it is, right? And now you're talking about 2 or 3 topics and you're sharing, and that's a little bit maybe less, feels like less of a time commitment, and people want to be a part of something, right? So I think being able to be
Interesting.
on and not have all the responsibility for the content of that, you get to be a part of a panel versus being
Yes.
the sole person. My hope is that as we have those conversations, those executive talks and those video clips, and then people go, oh, well, that was easy. And no, hey, I like what you're doing. I like what the value you're bringing back to our world. Yeah, I'd be a part of that webinar. I'll be a piece of it. And then we can continue to do the white papers and the webinars, but maybe do them in a little bit more efficient way. So that's my hope. And hopefully we can execute on that moving into this next year.